very, very warm welcome to you as you join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. I am Olumuyiwa Matuluko. We feel like dancing. Nigeria is 52 years old as an independent nation. And that is why we are donned in Nigeria's colors. We are happy. We are celebrating Nigeria. And in celebrating Nigeria, we want to celebrate the youths because of our firm belief that, like young ones all over the world, youths are the future of a country. And so last episode on this program, we brought you the first round of the preliminaries of a debating contest organized by the Student Tax Advocacy Initiative of the Federal Inland Revenue Service for SAT members in secondary schools in Abuja. SAT, SAT, stands for Students Advocate for Tax. In that first round, Federal Government Boys College, Abuja, slugged it out with Kingsville College, and Kingsville got the upper hand. Today, we want to bring you the second round of the preliminaries between Best International School, what a name, and Katrina International Academy. Topic: Introduction of ICT and e-payments will go a long way in blocking leakages in tax collection.
The introduction of e-payments and ICT goes a long way by strengthening the revenue-generating capacity of the state, thereby reducing the fraud which we usually face in the manual method. What I'm trying to say here is that if we start paying our taxes through the e-payments, the level of fraud which we experience, which we know we're experiencing in the manual method, would drastically reduce. Now, the introduction of e-payments and ICT would also make sure that the exact amount of money is being paid to the coffers of the agencies by giving essential information and also establishing a national comprehensive payee data, which the manual method cannot provide. We know that the internet is the fastest method that gives us information. Now, if we are able to use the internet, it helps to give us more information, which will be useful to how we pay our taxes. The manual method cannot give us those information. Now, with all the benefits accrued to e-payments and ICT, it reduces the cost of businesses. No wonder it is used in the whole wide world. We can recall that in 2010, when e-payment was introduced, we recorded an increase of over 12 billion naira increase. This was not what we saw in the manual method. And the e-payment just came out in 2010. The e-payment also goes a long way by addressing the fundamental issues of corruption, which we are currently facing in Nigeria.
Today, Nigeria is technologically immature to run e-payment in Nigeria due to the following reason: that we don't have enough devices to track down e-payment in Nigeria. Secondly, diversion of funds. You find out that in Nigeria today, there is diversion of funds in the computer. There's diversion of funds in the computer. Those who are computer experts, they tend to divert the money, our revenue paid in the computer, to their own account, which has gone a long way to increase the leakage in Nigeria. Thirdly, we have illiteracy. A graduate cannot be able to operate a computer, more or less to pay its tax through the computer. To back it up, even including those in the village, they don't even know about the computer, more or less to pay their money through it. And lastly, we have failure on the part of computer. We Nigerians today, we have solemnly depend on the computer in the sense that we cannot do without the calculator when solving mathematics, so as much applicable to the computer system. Whenever we depend, when Nigeria put our awesome aim on the computer, in the sense that when all our information are installed on the computer, all our revenue are in the computer, and finally the computer breaks down. What happened to our information? What happened to the money we pay? We can't give account of it.
Firstly, I would like to counter what my opponent said. She said Nigeria is technologically immature. I will not accept it. I'm not agreeing with her, because when we introduced ATM into Nigeria, now today everybody uses ATM.
My co-debater said that it is not that easy to do fraud when it comes to electronics and ICT. It is so easy. That's why we have hackers these days. Have you ever heard of hacking? That is just like illegally decoding computer files and using them for your own selfish use. Computer hackers have made it so easy that they just go on their systems, decode files, transfer money, change the dates, do everything, and it makes it easy for fraud to be carried out in Nigeria through the use of electronics. Second, you know the market women, they feel ashamed when they speak English and people laugh. They feel ashamed when they talk and people just look at them like they're saying rubbish. Just imagine when they go to pay their tax and they realize people are laughing at them because they can't use the internet. Is that what you want people to do in Nigeria? Laugh at women who can't use the internet to pay their tax? So why do you want people to go about using the internet to pay their tax? When it is not possible for illiterates to do that, it's not possible for market women because definitely they are illiterate. It's not possible for so many people.
As we all know, e-payment pushes the country high up in the development index and stimulates high capital base for a country. As a result of this, efficient delivery of government services is guaranteed. The electronic system of remittance also builds up trust and confidence in the country. For example, if you are a regular taxpayer, but you pay your tax through the manual method, which certain tax collectors are corrupt and they take this money, you will not see development in your areas. But if you pay taxes through the e-payment, the money which is supposed to go to the government will surely go to the government. And when the government gets this money, they'll surely use this money and develop our areas and country as a whole. The introduction of e-payment has reduced the burden of taxpayers as far as filing returns and remittances are concerned. It allows taxpayers, instead of going long distances to pay their taxes, it allows them to stay where they are and pay their taxes at a much faster, easier, and more reliable method when they want to pay it.
You can see that the use of internet and e-payment wastes our time and energy. This happens mostly in the remote areas because lack of internet facilities in most of our rural areas. For example, this money I will use and the time I will use to go to the neighboring villages for those that doesn't have internet facilities in their village. They will waste their time, and when on getting there, they might not be able to pay their tax because of the large number of people that wants to pay their tax. And this discourages them because the time they would have used to do something beneficial to them and their family is being wasted just in the name of paying tax. Please, let me tell you that illiteracy is not an excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse. That is why the government has provided schools for illiterates to go and learn. Even if you don't agree with me with that, when they go there, people are there that will help them, that will tell them what to do. Please, help me tell them that if the manual method was working for us, we would not be here debating, because why would there be need for us to move into another method of paying when manual method is working? Internet is not a machine. No. It is, we don't pay our taxes through a machine. What we're trying to say is that the internet will just be of quick aid. We just go to the internet and pay our taxes. We don't go to a machine. It's not like an ATM where it's not a machine. It's the internet. Fast, sharp.
Not everybody chooses to be an illiterate. Illiteracy is not something you just accept like that. Not all of them have the opportunity to go to schools. For crying out loud, most of these young girls we see on the street, they have to go and help their mothers in the shop. Thirdly, let me tell you about fraud. It is so easy for hackers to go on the internet. It takes only, they said a 16-year-old boy went outside Nigeria and solved a mask that has been there for 200 years and has not been able to solve by professionals. Just imagine if that boy chooses to be a hacker. It is so easy for him to just cut off the police.
At the end of that second round bout, the judges delivered their verdict.
For Group B, which is Best School versus Katrina, Best School polled 472, and the wonderful Katrina polled 429.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service introduces the tax card to make all tax payment easy for you. Just follow these 7 easy steps. Obtain your taxpayer identification number, TIN, for free at any FIRS office. Get your tax card from your bank. Log on to www.firsonline.com. Then register to obtain a password and access the payment process pages. Fill your TIN number, tax type you're paying, amount payable, and period of payment. Confirm the entries on your transaction. Then print your e-ticket and present at any FIRS office as an evidence of tax paid. It's that simple. For more information, visit www.firs.gov.ng or any FIRS office close to you. FIRS, it pays to pay your tax.
Welcome back. The program is still Tax Matters, and we are celebrating Nigeria at 52. And our own way of doing it is to celebrate Nigeria's youths. Last episode, if you recall very well, we brought you the first round of the preliminaries of a debating contest organized by the Student Tax Advocacy Initiative for SAT members in secondary schools in Abuja. And in that first round that we showed you on the last episode of Tax Matters, Federal Government Boys College slugged it out with Kingsville College coming out tops. Before we went on break on this episode, you saw Best School slugging it out with Katrina International Academy. And as you heard the lead judge say, Best School got the upper hand. So, Federal Government Boys College slugged it out for the third place position with Katrina International Academy. FGBC came out tops. And so, the final bout took place between Best School and Kingsville College. That is what we are about to show you on this second segment. The topic, non-oil taxes, rather than oil taxes, are a veritable tool for Nigeria's socio-economic development.
And I'm here to support the notion which says that non-oil tax is veritable for Nigeria's economic development. Everything which is good lasts for a while. It applies also with oil. Nigeria, yes, we have oil. But the research has shown that our oil is remaining just 25 more years. Now, what happens after 25 years when we do not have oil? A nation that suddenly depends on oil, that means development will no longer take place. And when development does not take place, what happens to the people? We become poor. Nigeria also realized during 1979, during Yakubu Gowon's period, that was when we have not yet discovered oil fully. Then we were investing in agriculture. Through that means we built our universities, we grew up, and we even learned to our colonial masters. But when oil came in, we started degrading. Our naira value to dollar value started degrading. From 1 naira to $1, it started degrading. And now it's $1 to over 165 naira. Can you imagine that? A nation that was 1 naira to $1. What are we saying? How would we compare non-oil tax to other means like agriculture? We all know that non-oil tax, like the income duty, export duties and the import duties, sales duties, they are all forms of non-oil tax, which will help our nation to go forward. Now, we know that through this non-oil tax, our nation we get more revenues than when we practice non-oil tax. Now, what happens to the country when the international value for oil starts degrading? What will happen? Nigeria is a country which we know we have to build. And for us to build Nigeria together, for Nigeria's economic system to be strong, that means we need a non-oil tax. And this non-oil tax, which will help us during our father's time, will continue to help us better than the oil sector, which we solemnly depend on.
I'm opposing the motion which says non-oil-based tax rather than petroleum-based tax are most veritable tools for economic development in our country. My first point is, gotten from statistics from the IFS and OECD in 2005, it was recorded that 40% of Nigeria revenue was gotten from oil. So we have 40% gross domestic product, we have 70% government revenue, and 95% of exports all realized from oil, which is to show that over 68% of the country's economic growth has actually been contributed from the oil sector. That is the petroleum-based tax system. Second point is, Nigeria is a monolithic economy, which means we depend solely on oil for our economic growth. This is because other sectors have actually been lacking. As you said, the agricultural sector has actually come up and has helped build universities, but where is it now? It is not even heard of. Only peasant farmers are found farming around the place. You don't have economic farmers. You don't have people getting money from farming. The only source of money for Nigeria, which we should accept, is oil. And then later on, this oil revenue can actually be used to improve other sectors, if you agree with me. Also, I want to say that from the CBN, a report was gotten, and it states that the ratio of revenue gotten from non-oil sectors actually reduced drastically. It was at the rate of 27% before, and then now it actually reduced to 11%, which is to show that it's actually getting us nowhere. And we cannot continue to live in poverty when we have something that can fetch us wealth within a twinkle of an eye. But the oil sector has actually produced more revenue because it has risen from 23% to 89%, which shows tremendous increase. And if properly taken care of by good people who want to fight corruption first, that is, if properly taken care of by good people, our country will enter a massive economic development.
We all know in places like Niger Delta, if you guys will agree with me, it's very easy for the youth to go there and break the pipes, to take out oil, to go and sell for their own selfish purpose. But we all know that by the time they take out of this oil and go and sell it, that means the oil that is gotten by the companies is reduced, which makes the money they use to export the oil reduced. And by the time they'll bring it back, that means the tax that the FIRS will collect for them will also reduce. Secondly, we can see corruption. We all know that Nigeria is a very corrupt country. We know that if most of the people that export oil take our oil and they know that they are supposed to give 20%, for example, to the tax, they will just change the digits or the amount of oil that has been exported so that they will give 10% rather than 20%, which definitely will reduce the tax rate of Nigeria, which would make it impossible for Nigeria to provide enough social amenities and will make life harder for us in Nigeria. We can also say that if we see, when it comes to VAT and other things, it majorly falls under non-petroleum based taxes. Because when you talk of VAT, that's just like VAT, that's value added tax. Those are taxes you pay for buying goods, like buying a biro, you pay tax for it, buying a book. But petroleum, not everybody uses petroleum. You have to agree with me. Like the Naseni, they don't use petrol for anything. Other places, like most of these rich men, don't use petroleum. They use other sources, which makes it like when you buy your other things, it generates. When you buy other things that doesn't do with petroleum, it generates more money than when you go and depend solely on petroleum. It will just make the economy drastically drop. Non-oil tax rather than petroleum-based taxes is the most veritable tool for economic development.
I'm here to support my chief speaker on what she has earlier stated. Everybody here can bet with me that everybody in this country uses petroleum. How do you move about the transportation? Excuse me. You use the petroleum, and those that don't have cars, the transport you pay, the amount of petroleum that the taxi man has to use to buy petroleum is also added in the amount of money you pay for the transport. So please beg and pardon to correct that mistake by my opponent. Then my point, secondly, you look at the aspect of employment. We find out that the oil sector is the largest and the highest growing sector in the country as of today. And therefore, this now makes and creates ways for employment for the non-employed people, thereby reducing terrorism. Because you cannot tell me that today, if you give a young man an agricultural work to do and work in the oil sector, you tell me that he will choose that of the agricultural sector. No, he will go for the oil sector, and this thereby creates employment for all the unemployed in the society and thereby reduces terrorism. And thirdly, if you look at the aspect of investment and savings, we find out that the oil sector makes it a better way for individuals to save, because there are amounts of money that are being gained from the exportation of oil from our country, and this thereby gives the individuals working in the oil sector enough money, thereby encouraging savings and investment. And if, as my opponent said, the oil sector should finally leave the country and stuff and things like that, we'll also have money to develop the agricultural sector and other sectors of the country by the time the oil should reduce. And lastly, my last point, it's also a source of foreign exchange. If we look at the budget, we find out that most countries of the world nowadays need oil, and that's why they come running to us, because as God has blessed this country, Nigeria is flowing with oil, and so thereby we sell barrels of oil daily and get money. And if you look at other sectors like the agricultural sectors, you need time for the plants to grow, and you need processes. But the oil you extract, put it in barrels and sell, and that's how you make your money and get revenue for the country. And this helps in the development of the country and makes it faster for Nigeria to be among the developed countries in the world.
We can say that in non-oil taxes, everybody is involved. Even the market women, even the illiterate are all involved in paying non-oil taxes. Why in the petroleum sector, not everybody is involved. It is mostly those that use petroleum and the companies that make use of petroleum that pay their tax. And even in the paying of tax from the companies, they don't give the exact amount they get from oil, and this makes the tax they receive to reduce. We can see that today they've generated a closed substitute for oil, which is the use of solar. In most developed countries, in other developed countries, they make use of solar to power their equipment more than petroleum.
In past years, Nigerian government has 90 great attention on the area sector.
I would like to ask everybody here one question. Is nation America having a stable economic system? Yes. But do they have oil the way we do? No. America solemnly relies on agriculture. And agriculture is actually helping them out. They do have oil, but agriculture helps them out. What will happen to our future? We are talking about Nigeria's development. We are looking at Nigeria in the future. What about Nigeria in the next 26 years? We are all looking at oil because it's giving us money now. But in the next 26 years, we will no longer have this oil. Then what do we like to? We have to go back. By that time, it might be too late. With this strong point of mind, I hope you back me up if I should say that non-oil tax is better for Nigeria's economic development. Thank you.
My opponents or co-debaters have actually said lots of things that I actually do not agree with. First, you said not everybody uses petroleum. Please stand right here and tell me that you do not use petroleum. Nigeria is a great country. We're making lots of money from petroleum. And you stand there and tell me you do not use petrol? How did you come to this place? Did you trek? If you did, I think it's okay with you. But I actually did not trek. And everybody here did not trek to this place. Instead, we came with the aid of petroleum. And then you said, America. Why are you mentioning America? We're right here in Nigeria, arguing on how to move this country up. And you're telling me America. Compare yourself to America. Do you know how old America is? Nigeria has actually grown with agriculture before we discovered petroleum. It's mining that made us discover petroleum. And then now we found petroleum. It's helping us. We're not just depending on it. We're actually using petroleum to save up money so that when it finishes later in the future, as you said, it will actually help us move back and increase our activities on agriculture and other sectors. Talk about the power sector, talk about all these other things. They actually do not help so much. Even technology, as helping other countries, has not helped Nigeria yet. But we're growing, because we're going somewhere. And only petroleum-based taxes for now can help us. And I put it to you that if the revenue gotten from petroleum-based taxes are put into good use, Nigeria is going somewhere. Don't mention America. We're here in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
At the end of the final bout, the judges gave it to Kingsville College with 491 points as against 477 polled by Best School. Trophies were presented and prizes were also handed out to the speakers. Of course, graduating SS3 students, SAT members in secondary schools were also presented gifts. We want to thank the Federal Inland Revenue Service for this wonderful initiative. To the contestants, kudos. You are indeed worthy to be called the future of Nigeria. You are worthy to be called leaders of tomorrow. And to our viewers, we want to hear your views about these topics. Where do you stand? The topics are on the screen. You can do so by liking our Facebook page or following us on Twitter. You can also send messages via email. Of course, we remain available on voice telephone and by text messages for other matters, queries, observations, questions. And if you want to watch this episode again, or indeed any past episode of Tax Matters, you can visit our YouTube channel on your mobile device or on the web. I want to thank you most sincerely for spending time with us today. Once again, happy Independence Anniversary, Nigeria.